history. Hear about this and you read about that. I don't want to look at Grumpy Cat. This is how to watch TV. What's that I hear? You hear the lost finale. It's not your fault that you can't see what we see. This is how to watch TV. On Come Uppins Network. This is how to watch TV.
Did she hear this?
On Come Uppins Network.
Oh, so we're all just...
I'm sure it looks very strange.
That makes sense, yeah.
Go ahead, Big Al. Say the line.
Hi, I'm Big Al. Welcome.
No, because you're not doing it right. Jesus,
what's the line?
he's the worst.
He's the worst.
He's the worst.
Anyway,
you're the Brit of our podcast.
Welcome to How to Watch TV.
It's not even a real thing.
Here on Come Uppins Network,
Yep.
comeuppins.com.
This will be the Leftovers, Episode 8, Season 1.
Speaking there.
Cairo.
Cairo.
It was...
How do you say it?
He didn't say it as Cairo.
That's how I would say. When I saw the title, I said Cairo.
Yeah.
Cairo
or something.
Cairo.
Whatever the fuck.
Doesn't matter. Our host, Joel Henderson.
Yes, my name is Joel Henderson.
I'm Jeremy Vasaitis.
Also.
Hi, I'm Big Al. You might know me as Big Al.
Yeah.
All right.
So, anyways, where did the last episode
Sorry,
end?
I wasn't here last week, guys.
Do you remember how the last
Get that
episode
over
ended?
with.
It wasn't the Nora one. It was after that.
Wasn't it with his dad? Didn't the dad take off or something?
Yeah, that
was
the last episode, but how did it end? I forget.
I don't remember. Well, anyways, this one starts and we hear church music, and it just reminded me of, like, Sunday morning. It was her walking. I didn't realize she was walking into the church at that point. It was just like, it just gave me that vibe of Sunday morning music that you would hear and, and shit.
And there was some shopping bags, right?
Yeah.
Like she was holding.
We see Patty walk into the newly white church, and she drops her shopping bags, and as she does that, Garvey slams the turkey down.
Good little.
It was like they were doing this thing to make them seem like they were the same person when they're clearly not the same person.
They
were doing the same thing though, like the same movements.
Yeah,
you know, he was putting down glasses.
Doing
she was putting
totally different things, though, but similar in the same respect. But
yeah.
It was pretty cool.
It was a contrasting view of them.
It was a pretty long, cold open, though, man. Like, I was actually shocked.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had 4 paragraphs before it's even opening.
Man, I had the same thought, like, wow, we haven't hit credits yet, man.
No,
wow,
I sent him a text. I was like, wow, this is the cold open, because they had been talking, like, the silence.
Getting a little warm.
Yeah. The silence in them talking, there was so... I mean, it was
because he's setting the table. She's laying clothes out on the floor. We don't know why now. And then we see a folder that says MD on it. And Patty shuts the door, and we cut to Lori. And Patty gives Lori an envelope with $10,000 in it.
So neither one of you had any thought as to what was going to happen?
At that point, I figured they were staging something, but I wasn't.
I thought she was going to buy property.
I thought about it right away.
What was it?
What happened?
Oh.
I said they're gonna fucking
I thought they were buying property, man.
But you made the connection of the photographs at that moment.
Maybe not the photographs, but like maybe not even like that. I thought of the loved ones right away, but I said they're gonna put like mannequins or something in the church, like they're gonna set them all up in the church.
They were.
I can't say that I thought about the loved ones right away, but I thought they're gonna do something. They're gonna dress these people up. Or they're going to dress up like them, or they're going to dress them in mannequins and put them in the church, or put them back in people's houses. Like right away, I was like, oh my God, they're going to fuck with these people hard.
Show's so fucking weird, man. God.
Well, so Patty gives Lori an envelope with what I can only assume is $10,000, because that's what $10,000 looks like in every television show. That one stack of hundreds is always $10,000. You know what I mean? Like that much. I'm assuming it's $10,000.
$100 bills.
Yeah.
We just saw like the actual conversion rate on the wire the other day, the way they broke it down.
No, but I just mean that amount of money. Yeah. I'm so used to seeing that on TV that I didn't even think for a second. I'm like, oh, that's $10,000.
It's probably the same ones they used in the wire, guy.
No, it's not the same
stock.
Money.
It's the same stock.
You think that's
the same movie? Yeah,
but
same money.
That's only $100.
Yeah, if you slam that shit down, really stack that and compressed it like it is being taped up or whatever.
What I'm saying, like, I don't think that's big. I think that's more. Think about it. Okay, so we're just jumping ahead to saying what they bought with them?
No. Okay, I was just saying that was...
Dude, 100 bills.
You're saying it's only $10,000.
Like
it's not enough money. Unless... Go ahead. We got to get to the end before we start, because I'm having thoughts about it now.
Oh, you think that there was more money in it just based on what their purchase was?
No.
They probably all purchased separately.
I just came to a conclusion as to why that could be $10,000 and be okay for what they purchased.
So anyways, Meg and another guilty remnant are outside of Nora's house, and she calmly comes out and offers them Rice Krispie treats and then leaves without incident.
I was actually really proud of her in this moment. That was good for her.
And you know what?
She got that gift. You know,
I don't know why I didn't think about it the last episode with Nora. But the hug, I forgot about the hug. I thought about the hug this episode. Like
it was weird. She was writing down the times.
She's like that because she's got the fucking hug.
She Horny Wayne fixed her up.
Yeah, right. That's what she was doing in the notebook, though, was writing down the times that Nora comes out every morning.
Well, yeah, because presumably Nora's on her list the same way that Meg was on Lori's list.
Yeah, the way they were watching her and hanging around.
Yeah. Right. So then it cuts to Garvey's house, and they're all having dinner, and the dog is barking still. We find out they haven't named the dog, and Nora had one named Bubba.
Wait, what?
Nora had a dog named Bubba.
There's no way that these people, you could just sit there.
I know. I thought about that halfway through the episode. How could the dog just be barking?
Just be okay.
Constantly.
Like, without neighbors complaining.
I nearly killed a neighbor because their dog just would be out barking. I would go yell at their house over the fence. Like, I was so angry.
I called the cops on a guy because he had cats at large.
I mean, is that a joke that I'm supposed to get?
No, he's just saying things.
I'm just saying things.
Well, anyways, Jill's friend starts asking about the questions she asked about the people who poofed. Yeah. You know, I thought that was pretty funny, and asked if they freak out.
That's not the first time they've said that.
No, I know, but it tickles me each time.
Well, and to say it to her.
Yeah, exactly.
To Nora.
Well, this dinner is ridiculously awkward, to say the least. And Nora says no, they don't usually freak out. They're sad but safe.
It seems ridiculously awkward to everybody but her.
Yeah, she doesn't
because
care.
of the hug. She doesn't.
You think that
it's in euphoria?
Oh, so you're thinking that the hug takes away from self-awareness? I thought it just allowed her to have perspective on life or something. And
I don't think it takes away from self-awareness. I'm saying that
I don't think it makes her dumber necessarily, where she doesn't notice.
I'm not saying dumber, but it allows her to have that attitude that she had towards everything. When maybe
she wasn't angry by it?
Prior to the hug, she might not have been.
No, she definitely would have probably taken it more personally.
Right. But I'm saying after the hug, she's now this laid back. She seems like she's on fucking pills now and shit. She's just all laid back. Here, check my purse. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It just seems like I've become a lackadaisical attitude.
I feel like she doesn't have anything to hide anymore. I feel like she's finally feeling good as opposed to it being like a negative side effect of it.
That's not true, though. How she does have, then why did she hide it in the fucking whatever? Like, she does have something to hide. Apparently,
because everybody hides a gun,
so
man.
What the fuck? I don't. That was one of the biggest annoyances in this episode. Was the douche twins and Jill hinging whether somebody can ever get better or not based on whether or not Nora owned a gun. Hey, if you go looking for trouble, you're bound to find it. See what I did there? Because they found it in a box of trouble. The game.
You were waiting all day. You could tell you couldn't even get that one out fast enough, guy. Wow.
Right, you didn't even let us get to the actual scene before you let it out.
No, that's what I mean.
Well, so what? We've been talking about other things too, so who gives a shit? That's my biggest annoyance of the episode, was that's supposed to mean something. All it means is that she didn't feel the need to carry it on her anymore.
But there's all kinds of that small shit going on in this.
Yeah, this shows a metaphorical.
It's not. I mean,
but from some teenagers to take that metaphor, fuck off. That's garbage. There's no way they actually think that.
This is a different world we live in. It's not the world we live in.
I get where you're coming from, but yes, the teenagers are a little bit more grown up in this world.
I guess.
But it's a baby Jesus thing. It's you know what I'm saying? It's that pointless little bullshit that they make seem so important and so epic, but it's not. It's just this little unimportant bullshit.
But she broke down crying because she had the gun. So that means that she can't get better.
She was going to.
Now hold on, because now we're way ahead of ourselves.
We're not ahead of anything. It doesn't matter. We're just talking about the episode.
I'm sorry. It's hard for me to sympathize with her, besides the fact that her mother went to the guilty remnant. Her mother is still there. Yeah. She has an answer to what happened to her mother or where her mother is.
Yeah.
They didn't lose anybody.
Correct.
Nora knows that they were the ones looking for the gun in her car,
and having your whole family just be shit and all this because of this incident, all stemming back to the disappearance or whatever, when you didn't lose anybody. It's hard. See, that's why it's hard for me to be feel sorry for them in that regard, because I mean, what are you bitching about? Fucking suck it up.
I don't feel sorry for her.
And go home. I don't feel sorry for the Garveys. I'm sorry. I have a hard time.
I feel sorry for
KG,
Kevin.
yeah, because he's insane. But
I'm sorry. I even have a hard time feeling sorry for him.
Why?
Because
his wife still went.
He was fucking cheating on her.
So what?
I just have a hard time feeling sorry for him. I still like him as a character. I just don't feel that bad for him.
He shows genuine remorse. His wife left him to go into this guilty remnants thing and shows zero remorse for it. Like, that's where you feel sympathy for the guy because he's a
zero
fucking...
remorse? Is it, so her, like, hanging out in their backyard at night isn't remorse?
No.
Then what is that?
Because she fucking threw away the lighter, or left the lighter, because she couldn't get it, or whatever.
She went back for it.
Yeah, she went back and got it, didn't she?
No, because she was end up...
I can't say there's no remorse.
She thought there was. I don't think there's any left now.
Did she leave it? Did she leave it in the drain?
Yeah, she couldn't get it.
So she left. I don't remember.
Yeah, she couldn't reach it.
She couldn't reach it, so she just left it there.
As far as I know, because the next time we saw her, she lit a match.
Well, and it was her
daughter that
saw her do that. Okay.
But I mean, the basic principle of that is they don't... I don't know. There doesn't seem to be any remorse, and I feel like Garvey knows that he fucked up and has owned up to that he fucked up. Whereas the wife is on a different level because she just chose to do this thing.
Because Garvey cheated on her.
That's not supposed to be... He said that in this episode, that he thought that was why, and she said that's not why.
Well, that was from Patty, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Patty... Who else would she confide in more than Patty?
Well, yeah,
nobody.
Patty would be the one that she
I'm just going to take that as that was true. Again, from that scene, I extrapolated that Patty used to be her patient.
Well, did they ever say that she was a therapist?
I don't know. That's what it felt like. The way that she said it, it felt like, because it was like, what did she say exactly? She said...
Well, now, wait a second, because she has to pour her... She
said there was a time...
convince the guilty remnants, don't they? She has to convince Patty to let her become one, just like that Megan girl had to with Lori.
No, you thought you did, but she was... What it turns out is she was building her up to be the leader.
She's so fucking annoying. Like, she's just... Like, I have seen nobody else just break the rules like her. She just break the rules.
Well, she's a main character. The other one,
but I do like that somebody's breaking the rules.
Yeah, no, but I don't think they like it.
No,
they love the fact that what's his face is still annoying the piss out of the guilty remnant on purpose.
Matt,
like, Matt is right. He's like working their nerves.
Well, Patty said to her, said to Garvey, there was a time I told Lori everything, and then there was a time she told me everything. So to me, that implies that she was her patient before when she was telling Lori everything, and then when she became part of the guilty remnants, Lori told her everything. Okay. And then now what she's doing is she was doing all that testing to make Lori the next leader.
You think?
All of the Gladys comparisons, the letting her have her moment, showing her the ropes, so to speak. So you bet your ass in a year or so, or whenever Lori's time comes, if she decides to go that route with it, which I don't think she'll end up doing. But if she decides to go that route with it, she now knows, okay, take them, let somebody have a good, a meal and, dress up, like a normal person and go and, have that day where they could talk if they wanted to. Like, I feel like all of that was leading up to Patty knowing she was going to kill her, sacrifice herself.
What do you think about the whole, since you mentioned Gladys, about that reveal?
Well, yeah, that they killed him.
I mean, it was pretty cool.
I swore somebody had talked about that. I don't remember if it was us or if I heard it
I don't
elsewhere.
think it was us. I don't remember. I remember comparing it to the fact that those people didn't say anything to her while they were throwing the rocks at her.
Yeah.
But she said 100 stones.
Yeah, the thing that got me about that was if she was complicit, as Patty said to her, or said to Garvey, that she was okay with it. If she was okay with it, why did she say, please stop?
She wasn't okay with it.
Oh, so you're thinking that they forced her to do it?
No, they didn't tell her that they were doing it. She didn't know that was going to happen.
See,
Patty was
lying.
Made
it sound like they all know.
She was lying to him.
Well, okay, then if that's the case, they have to know, because if that's the case, then she wouldn't feel comfortable killing herself, not knowing who's going to, what Lori's going to do. You know what I mean? If Lori didn't know that had to happen, that they had to sacrifice themselves to be remembered, as it were,
But
she couldn't just kill herself without having passed that on to somebody. If what she's saying is true, that she doesn't take orders from anybody, that there's no collective group of the guilty remnants.
But somebody had to come up with the main ideal and what to do with it.
You would think that there is some leader.
There has to be a creator.
There has to be somebody that came.
By definition, there has to be a creator.
Okay, and so if that's the route it goes, if that's the overall cycle of this guilty remnant per se, you join and you eventually end up getting martyred or murdered by them. You know what, dude? It's just I don't know, man. I don't think that they knew that, because if she did know that, why did she say please stop?
I think
you asked yourself
she probably realized
after getting hit in the face with a giant fucking rock
a bunch of times that it was a stupid idea.
I don't know, dude.
Or that she didn't want to die.
I don't think she knew that. If she knew, then why would they hide themselves from her?
I don't think...
If she knew it was them or knew that was going to happen, why did they hide themselves and disguise themselves? Why wouldn't they just show her who it was?
Did we ever actually see they were hidden or
Interesting
disguised?
Point here. Why was Lori not invited?
To what?
To the killing.
How do we know that she wasn't?
Because of the way she reacted when she saw the body when they went looking the next day. Presumably it was a closed circle of people that knew about that. And it wasn't just all the guilty remnants.
No, and that Pam lady, that's her name, right? Pam? Pam took him almost straight to the spot. Patty, straight to the spot in the woods.
Yeah, they
walked. To be fair, now you say it like that.
So she knew where, but there's no way Lori knew. Lori fell down on her knees and was like, upset about it, seemingly, when they're not supposed to give a shit about anything.
That big book that says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get all blown out there. The big book that says MD is their, Bible manual.
I don't know what that is.
So you don't know. Okay, I didn't know either.
From what I took, it was
I think it's the people that they're supposed to convert, or they think they can convert.
I think it was the people who's disappeared.
God, I really thought Garvey was going to turn into a werewolf.
It said the Durst family, didn't it? It didn't say Nora Durst.
It was the info on the people who were affected by the thing, by the disappearance. I just don't know that the.
Echo.
Yeah. Lori couldn't have known about the murder.
No, Lori, because she would have been able to be the leader.
They don't know that that's what's going to happen.
No, they don't know. They're not signed up to know that they're going to have to be stoned to death or anything like that.
The person who's being sacrificed or whatever it might be I don't think they know. I don't think Gladys knew that was going to happen.
So what that implies then is that there is some higher person telling them what to do.
There's a creator. There's got to be a creator.
Or there's
got to be somebody in charge.
Somebody that told Patty that said, "Hey, this is how it's supposed to go."
Yeah.
Well, because that somebody is going to have to tell Lori.
Don't care who it is, or don't care.
What if that somebody's that book?
What?
What if the somebody is the book? It's not a somebody. It's a something telling them what they have to do. What if it's the book?
It looked just like a bunch of case files as opposed to an instruction manual. It looked like it just had info on people as opposed to, here's what you're supposed to do with them.
It's really kind of hard to understand.
But, Lori, what I'm saying is that if Lori was never told from Patty what was going on, then somebody has to tell Lori now that she's in charge, so to speak.
So it's going to have to be one of these other people.
There's going to have to be some other person that knew about it to tell Lori that that's what's going on and that Patty sacrificed herself or whatever. They're going to have to find that out.
See, that's another thing is I don't think that's
it's out of the state,
because I think that Garvey and Dog Killer, who is Dean.
I figured that out today.
They're gonna get rid of
How'd you figure that out today?
They're gonna get rid of that body. They're gonna hide the body.
I don't know what's gonna happen with the body. Well, yeah, okay, the body was, so we just jumped to it, but
the
whole cabin thing was insane. It makes total sense that he's sleepwalking.
I don't think it's that. I think it's more of a Jekyll and Hyde type thing.
For sure, there's something going on there, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but I kept getting fucking annoyed at them teasing that Dean wasn't real. The way that just the framing of the shots, like when Garvey was woken up in the truck, and then he followed him, but Dean was walking out of the shot just as he was walking into it. It just felt like he was leading him somewhere that he wasn't leading him, that Garvey was leading himself. You know what I mean? There was just that weird distance that it felt like, again, that they're trying to throw that, is this guy even a real person?
Well, I think they've been hitting at that all along, but
I'm just sick of it at this point.
White shirt
come on, get to it.
Is the spot with the white shirt sacred, do you think? Is there a reason they were all around in a circle?
I think that they've done something before. I don't know what they've done before. Do you have any ideas what they could have been doing there before?
Who?
That Garvey would have nailed all of his shirts to the tree, and there would have been all those boots and the bucket.
That's what I mean. Like, it was just weird. Like it was a sacred burial ground type place almost, man. They come and they sacrifice the guilty remnants because that's what the voices tell them to do. Because I think Dean hears the same voices that the dad does.
Well, and I had a stupid
seemed
theory about that.
Dean seemed totally taken back by the fact, so what the fuck, you sleepwalking? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, no, you're the one.
No, not that dad. The other dad. Garvey's dad.
Yeah, Garvey's dad.
Oh.
The voices.
They hear the same voices, because when he walked out of the cabin, he's like, I tried to get him to fucking do it or something like that.
He said he was talking to Patty. I fucking told you at the time.
He was talking to the voices,
he turned back
man.
and said something to Patty, like, I'm sorry I tried to do it. Like, I tried to help.
Dude, no, he said it shittily like Garvey's dad says it when he talks to the voices. Like, I fucking tried. I'm telling you, man, Dean hears the same voices as Garvey's dad. Because remember, Garvey's dad kept telling him...
walked out. And
Garvey's dad keeps telling him that they're going to send somebody. They've already sent somebody.
Wait. You might be onto something. What did he say as he was walking out of the thing?
I tried to get him to fucking do it.
I'm trying to find that in here. I was letting you guys talk so I can find it.
That's fine. Something along the lines of, I tried to get him to tell him, or he's not going to do it, or something like that.
Don't you look at it? Oh, I thought you were looking at it too.
I'm trying to help you.
If you watch the scene again, the way he looked up into the, as he's going out the door, he looks up into the left. Like Garvey's dad does the same thing when he
tells Patty to shut the fuck up. He tried. He said, "Shut the fuck up." I tried.
Yeah, I don't think he was saying it to Patty. I think he was saying it to the voices.
No, I think Patty told him that she wanted to die, and he's saying he was trying to help Kevin, or what he thought was Kevin's goal in that whole scene was to kill her. What he had told him the night before. Yeah, but.
He's kind of right about how Garvey's dad talks to them.
Yeah, well, he
Shut
says,
the fuck up. He might say that to them. That might be, I don't know. I have to see the scene again.
If you watch the scene and think about it like that.
I mean, he looked at her on the ground. She was gasping, kind of making some noise.
But when he said, shut the fuck up, he
said,
tried.
Shut the fuck up, I tried.
He's looking up and to the left like Garvey's dad. I'm telling you, we can put it on right now. I know.
I don't think he was looking up and to the left.
I mean, I'm not going to completely disregard it like you are.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't think he's just out of the box.
I think he's just making up the shots that didn't exist. There was no tight shot on him there where we saw that he looked up and to the left.
Check the tape, guy.
You're just making that part of it up. Dude, it was just a wide shot of him walking out.
No, it's not. It's a real thing, guy.
You're right. They flipped to him like it was like his face, and then they're looking at Garvey and her laying on the ground behind him.
Yep.
I think he's right. I take a look at it again, but I'm not
going
to just blatantly disregard it like that.
No, I think they're connected, him and the dad, but not in that way. I think it might be a ridiculous theory, but okay. These are the questions that led me to this. Why can't Patty figure out Dean? If you had to guess, why do you not think that Patty? Why do you think Patty couldn't figure out Dean?
Oh, because he's not a real human. He's an angel. He really is a guardian angel.
Okay, let's go with he's a human being in this scenario. Well, why wouldn't he be able to be figured out? Why wouldn't a human be able to be figured out?
Oh, I don't know.
Couple reasons. One could be that they're like an agent.
Okay.
So
like
rolling with that, like a government agent. So the whole thing. Why would a federal officer be helping helping a chief shoot the dogs? And help with killing the guilty remnant. The FBI already offered, or the ATF or whoever offered to wipe out the guilty remnants. If you remember that phone call,
yeah, that was Dean.
No, it wasn't Dean. We've already been through that. The voice wasn't the same, and it wasn't like a voice modulator thing. It was another person. But the point being, what if Dean is an agent, and what if the dad is as well?
Like a government agent.
Yes.
So the dad's playing insane. When he's talking to the voices.
Well, I went one step further and said, what if it's just tech that they not, you know what I mean, not to make it sound too futuristic, but what if they just implanted something where he can hear them giving him instructions? Because he is following orders.
Yeah,
when he's listening.
But that's so far-fetched. It'd be better off that they were aliens.
That's far-fetched in a show where people disappear.
Well, no, it'd be if they were aliens, it would make more sense in government
That part
agents.
might be bad, but they mentioned that there was a Florida-based cult being put down. That was the Wayne thing, the Holy Wayne camp. That was shut down by the feds in some way.
Yeah, but that's because Horny Wayne was hoarding 13-year-old Chinese girls.
I'm saying that the guy that he talked to on the phone was that guy we saw in episode 2. Remember how episode 2 started? With the seemed so government agents talking about it, and he's looking at the folder, and then he's like, all right, let's get him. And he slaps the folder closed, and then all of a sudden it's dudes with guns fucking gunning people down and shit.
Oh, so that was the guy that later on he tried to call?
The agent that, whatever his name was, that Garvey talked to on the phone.
Point being, I think Dean could be related to the dad in the same way that they're somehow connected and talking to the same people, if you think that's the thing. I don't think it's the ones that are gone, though. I don't think it's the Departed, the seven Departed people.
It's not the Departed, no. It's just the voices that they hear.
I don't think that he's talking to people, maybe the dad, necessarily talking to people that are departed per se, but he's talking to maybe the people that are responsible for it.
Exactly, and that's going to be your aliens or what.
But we're never
going to
get the why. They said as much in this episode.
Well, I'm not even talking about the why, though.
How?
Yeah, what do you? I mean.
You're talking about when Patty said that? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's them telling you, don't expect an answer.
Because they're trying to give... But they're trying to get Garvey to do something. Maybe Garvey... And it's not Garvey. Because Garvey can't tame the dog that saw people disappear. His daughter was the one that actually, at the end of the episode, tamed the dog that disappeared.
Why did I think this whole episode that she was going to bite it?
Bite the dog?
I kept thinking they were going to turn into
werewolves. She was going to die.
Oh, he said the dog, and the dog bit Garvey.
I know, why? I thought she was going to die.
I don't know. Okay,
that's a human bite on his head.
Tell me, in this episode, it was different. It looked like the marks were spaced apart. I thought the same fucking thing. I had to pause it and go back. I'm like, why does it now not look like just close human teeth? Because before it was fucking chomped right like that. There were spaces between it this time. I don't know why. I don't know if that was supposed to mean something or if it was
further healing. But
I don't know. But it almost looked more like it could have been a dog that time.
No,
I know from the previous one it absolutely wasn't. But I was saying that from the scene what I saw solidified it for me. What was that?
When I saw that it's a human bite.
In this episode?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That I saw his hand in this episode and go, that's definitely a human bite for sure.
Yeah, it just looked like it was
maybe that's what the white shirts are. He's killing guilty remnants. He's leaving his white shirts.
But they haven't said there's been any more disappearances or anything like that. And he didn't even kill the first lady.
I had this great connection that I made with the dogs and the guilty remnants at the time, and I can't fucking figure it out now.
What we were talking about earlier.
That the guilty remnants basically, the dog was changing. Garvey was right. The dog was healing. The dog was becoming more tame.
No, it wasn't.
It absolutely was. She walked right the fuck up to it.
Yeah, she healed him. She healed the dog.
The dog wasn't barking multiple times in this episode. In previous episodes, the dog's been barking the entire time.
What do you mean the dog wasn't barking in times in this episode?
I'm saying that there were times that it showed the dog sitting there looking calm. That happened the first time we saw the dog in this episode. There were at least 2 or 3 shots of the dog not barking.
The first time you see the dog you hear the dog in the episodes of barking at dinner.
There was one where he saw it out the window, but there was either before that or when somebody walked near it, not Jill, it was daytime, the dog wasn't barking. So the point I'm making is that the dog was acclimating.
Yeah, I thought that every time we saw, I almost made a mental note in my head to say every time we saw the dog, it was barking.
Still barking.
No, it barked a fuck of a lot, but
except
it did.
When she walked up to it at the end.
Yeah. There was another
and then I looked
part
at her,
where it wasn't.
and I thought it was totally going to just be like, but I don't know. Maybe I've been watching too much Supernatural. I was expecting some monster to jump out of something and tear somebody to pieces.
Well, it was basically that the guilty remnants aren't willing to change, and the dogs, I lost the whole connection that I made. God damn it pisses me off. There was something about it that just made me think guilty remnants. But I don't think she did any. I think the dog was acclimating.
I think she's special because that's how the grandpa. There's something about her that's special because that's how the grandpa knew she was running out of oxygen in the fridge. there was some sort of weird, whatever, telepathic thing going on. He didn't just happen to be running in his underwear through the people.
You think the people he's talking to told him
or something like that, because she's one of them, and it's not Garvey, or maybe Garvey's insane. Who knows what's going on with that guy? But like, she's special, and I think at the end she healed the dog, or tamed the dog rather.
Wouldn't it have stayed then? I mean, I know she told it to go, but it's just a dog.
She tamed it. It's her dog now. He took off. That's it.
What do you mean it's her dog now?
She tamed it. She owns the dog. She's one with the dog.
But she told it to go away and let it free.
She let it go.
What are you talking about? That's what I'm saying. Back. If it was tamed, it would just be her dog. Back. I bet we don't ever see the dog again.
No, I don't think we're going to see the dog.
All right. You heard it here first. It's coming back.
I was just looking at my bold... See, I had, she gets home, disarms the security system, asks Amy where she's going. Yeah, we got that whole thing to talk about. But Jill feels bad. The dog seems to have shut up. She was looking out the window, and it was just staring in. Before she even went outside, the dog was quiet. She noticed that, and she goes out with a knife. And I put, she's going to notice the dog is better,
we did skip over, but you're right, we did skip over that whole scene where they were sitting in the park smoking. Yeah.
Well, she cuts the dog loose and tells it to go. I thought she was going to go out there and notice that the dog was better, and that was going to be some sort of breakthrough.
I thought she was going to stab it.
No, I thought that was the red herring.
When she cut it, and then when she got too close to it and she cut it loose, and it was looking at her all funny, I was like, okay, well, she's not going to stab it. She's going to have to fight it because it's going to attack her.
You want to go through the scene of them on the grass?
Yeah, why not?
Like, they were laying on the grass as the douche twins and her friend Amy smoke weed and reminisce about dinner last night. The douche twins, why does it matter? Jill thinks Nora is pretending to be okay, and Jill asks if Amy is okay. She asks if Amy fucked Garvey, just outright, and Amy goes, yeah, but sarcastically, and Amy throws all the BS Jill was saying a minute ago back in her face, but in the guise of fucking her dad, and then adds, he was so hard, Jill. She says he fucked him on a pile of guns.
Twisted.
They exchange fuck yous and both cry. Jill smokes her joint. The weed burns. I couldn't figure out if it was cigarettes or weed. One of them burns if it's secondhand coming off of a joint or a cigarette. It's blue, but after you inhale it, it's gray. Is that a cigarette?
I have no idea.
You've never noticed that if you just look at smoke coming off the end of your cigarette...
cigarettes, though.
No, I know. I'm asking, is it weed that burns like that if you're smoking...
They've always been...
No, because there's no filter there.
They've always been smoking weed.
Yeah, they don't...
I'm aware of that. What I'm saying is I thought I was saying that it burned legit, like it was real weed. Because if real weed is the one that, when it burns off the end, it's darker blue and then it's gray when you exhale it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen blue smoke come off of anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Everything I say today is, there's no chance that I have any idea what I'm talking about. I didn't pause it and look at this shit closely. I'm just trying to start a discussion. There's been 3 things where you're just like, no chance. No.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say that it didn't happen. Did I say that it didn't happen?
You said the dog thing didn't happen. You said that there was no time before the end where the dog was quiet, and that absolutely happened.
I did. I did not say. It
may not have been noticeable,
but I did not say for fact that happened. No. I said I noticed. I never said that it was a fact.
Well, it makes it hard to then continue on with my point if you then shut it down like
that. You did the same thing with
disagree with each other.
No. I just want to indulge it so that I can finish my point about that.
Yeah, but you dismissed my point right away about Dean and his dad's talking to the same people. I
just said they did. I went into my whole reasoning about why I kind of agree with you, just in a different way. I think that they are talking to the same people, but I think it's more like a government thing.
Oh, yeah. No, and then you said my scene didn't even exist. That's it.
The camera shot.
Yeah, the camera shot.
Yes.
That's what it was. I forgot. My bad.
That one I'm willing to watch and afterwards and see if it exists, but I don't think it did. I don't think there was an up and to the left look. I think you're extrapolating that.
Yeah. I want to see that a little bit. I mean, I didn't notice it, but I mean, like...
Up and to the left is actually supposed to mean you're telling the truth, by the way.
Yeah, but he would have been up and to the left like this, or no, when he's walking out.
See how he's changing it now because
we'll watch it again because I'm interested to see what it was like again to see if we can tell from the whole context of it to see how he turns or what he looks like or
Well, I don't think for a second that that Amy actually fucked Garvey.
No. I still do, man. I'm sticking by my original instinct.
I think that put it to bed right there.
He threw everything. She threw everything back in Jill's face that Jill said to her. Like she just turned it around on her.
Or was she being 100% honest?
No.
In a condescending
Why would she walk away crying?
About the
because
smoke,
they were
trying to say something
like
an old wives' tale? Like,
No, I was just trying to mean that I couldn't remember, because it's been so long since I smoked cigarettes, I couldn't remember if, when it was cigarettes, if when you just held it there, if it was coming off more blue-colored, versus once you inhaled it and exhaled, that was always a dark or a grayer cloud.
But you're saying that as
because
like a
when they were
fact. Like,
when
I've
they
never
were smoked,
heard like that. I've never paid attention.
I was just
to
asking because I don't remember. Do you, when afterwards
I wasn't
we
just
need to light a cigarette?
saying you were. I mean, like, I don't want you to think I was just saying you were wrong.
No, but the point I was getting
to
to is if it's cigarettes that I'm thinking about, then my point was wrong, and I was trying to say they were smoking actual weed. So that would mean that they were smoking cigarettes if that were the case.
I'll tell you what, though, if they're not smoking actual weed, that chick did a pretty good job because she looked pretty fucking stoned when she was telling that
you
story.
You gotta play that shit.
I mean,
though.
she was fucking stoned
like,
and drunk. She did a good job. I can't say that. I don't think that they'd just be sitting there smoking real weed on set like
I mean,
that.
it just
like
reminded it caught my eye because I had noticed that about either cigarettes or weed in the past, and I couldn't remember which it was, and I just wanted to be like, oh, that's cool that they're smoking something that replicates weed so closely. But it probably is cigarettes in retrospect.
Just never seen that.
It's probably just tobacco. Because they're not going to be smoking real weed on the set.
They smoke
they're not.
Yeah.
There's no way.
They can't be getting high. Just like playing drunk. You can't get drunk to play drunk. You got to be an actor. That shit's tough, too.
So what's
drunk.
this about? This whole show is fucking symbolism, right? It's all symbolism and metaphors for something, whatever it ends up being or whatever the show's about. What's the symbolism of him coming back to the camp from when he was a little kid?
That it was somewhere that he had escaped to before. Because they were talking about that. Let me find where he mentioned.
Because there's got to be, in the long run, there's going to be a reason that he sets up base to kill this broad at the camp. Just like that's why where all the white shirts are.
Garvey used to come to this cabin to smoke cigarettes when he was in camp. So he would sneak away from camp and go there to smoke. Yeah. So it's just a getaway for him. It's a place.
So he blacks out and goes to this place.
Apparently, whatever happens to him, it makes him
whatever we're going to call it a blackout now because that's all we know it is.
I suppose
it's not sleepwalking. That's what they called it, sleepwalking. But
I mean, the dude didn't think he was sleepwalking.
No,
Dean didn't assume sleepwalking at all. He's like,
he said like a different.
Neither
person,
did Patty too. Yeah,
like what he said about the truck. Like, you need to go in your truck. Get comfortable, close your eyes, and bring out the other fucking guy that I was dealing with last night.
Yeah, so there are two versions of him. Do we see it? You think we're going to get to see it?
Yeah.
Besides just in the flashes?
I think we've only seen glimpses of it, right? Yeah. But I don't know if we'll see it, like, you mean him full out.
See, and the other side is the one that did the daughter's friend. Because it's evil and dark.
But but
that's another thing is where the fuck did he get that bite from? They never explained where he got bit.
No, they just said that she bandaged him up.
Right.
Bandaged him up.
Yes.
That's all she's.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense at the time that they were fucking and she bit his hand, or he was trying to get her off of him because he was in one of those blind rages because he doesn't remember that night either.
No.
Yeah, so I mean, who's to say what it was? But I don't think she fucked him based on what she said.
Based on how she reacted.
It was her friend, and she wouldn't do that. She was trying to get him to give him a break, admittedly, which made it seem like, is she leaning towards the dad? You know, because she was always like, give him, or she'd like give him little pep talks.
Right.
You're like, you're doing the best you can, pal.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Garvey, dude, he's chiseled, just like the dumb twin said.
They did say that, yeah.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of crazy tattoos.
Yeah, right? I mean, yeah. He's the new Matthew Fox, literally. Just a little bit shorter.
We said that, the very first episode I watched the show. I said, so we got a new Jack.
Yeah, he's Jack mixed with Richard Alpert Skyliner. You want me to jump into any specific points? Or you got anything else like specific, or you want me to just kind of jump into something here?
What do you mean?
Oh, did we talk about how they stole all the family photos, not to make a point, but because, as the Fake Loved Ones commercial from a couple weeks ago showed, the dolls could be made from
Okay, here, I want to get to my point about the money that I was talking about earlier.
Which money?
The 10, what we determined as 10 grand.
Well, we need this, though. We need that. We need to know that that's what those are.
All right, go ahead.
That the loved ones, basically, when they stole all those pictures, it was to make corpses. It was to make faked bodies of those people.
I thought it was I thought it was actual organs.
No, they're going to make the loved ones.
No, they were all.
But none of them were full size. So do they fold in half, or were they in parts? Are they in half?
I think they're in parts. We saw them. They made us made a point of them showing us the kids. Them unloading the small ones.
No, I know, but the big ones were also only
they
like
probably
that
come
big.
In parts, like mannequins.
Yeah.
And they get snapped them together and shit.
But that's fucked up. That's why they stole. Nobody saw that coming.
I think that was an illegal batch.
Right? Black market.
Because he said $40,000 a piece for those things.
Yeah.
So $10,000 in an envelope is not going to buy that whole lot.
Unless it came from another set of guilty remnants or that's through some connection that they had elsewhere. Because that guy seemed to have contempt. The driver seemed to have contempt for guilty remnants in general.
Right.
So, like, maybe he was on the other end of the shipment where they were loading it up, and he's like, "You some sick fucks."
I was going to say they could be stolen ones, but no, they couldn't be stolen because they had to be made to the likeness of these people.
Yeah, that's why they stole the pictures. It has to be.
But there has to be just some inside person that's helping with that. There's got to be a reason.
A discounted rate.
Yeah.
Unless they're real live dead people, black market.
Because I know what you mean, where it was $40,000, but yeah, there's no way.
There was not. I mean, how many people they unloaded? Say it.
Church. They're a church.
Tax free, but that doesn't knock it down to $10,000.
Well, but they could get donations for a church.
Maybe they got
Maybe they're turning the guilty remnants into some sort of a religious thing where they get those kind of perks. I don't know. Just a thought. I hadn't put anything into it before.
Have they ever
just
referred to themselves as the guilty remnant, or it just says it on those signs?
Yeah, it says it on the signs. So they've chosen that name. Okay. Yes. Patty was quoting a Yeats poem. I don't know why that matters, but it's called Michael Robates Bids His Beloved Be at Peace. I did write down that her little speech to him. Where did I put that? Oh, vanity of sleep, hope, dream, endless desire. The horses of disaster plunge through the heavy clay. Beloved, let your eyes have clothes. Let your heart beat over my heart and your hair fall over my breast. Drowning love's lonely hour in twilight of rest and hiding their tossing manes and tumultuous feet. I guess in retrospect it's kind of just garbage.
You didn't read it very good, guy. You should have given it some oomph.
The only one that the horses of disaster plunged through the heavy clay. Like the horses that she means, like the end of the world, the apocalypse, the four horsemen. Is that what that's like in reference?
I don't know. Have we found out that the guilty remnants are into
that this whole thing is happening? Is like the beginning of the end of the world, like, and that's what they're just prepping for, basically.
Yeah, it'd be badass if four horsemen fell out of the sky.
The four horsemen's always a cool thing. Like,
I'm just saying, like, dude, if they went into the apocalypse and they explained, and like this really is the end of the world,
it's not going to be the apocalypse.
No,
and here's
it's not going to be supernatural either.
Yeah.
Like,
here's the reason: because we're not going to find out what happened. We're never going. That's my prediction for this show. Is we're never ever going to find out where they went, what happened. So don't get your hopes up for it to be the apocalypse, because that would be telling you something. They're never going to do it. That would be saying this is what it was. They're never going to do that.
What if aliens took the people?
They're never going to say that. They're not going to say.
He's saying they're never going to give you the answer.
It's got to be aliens, dude, because it really reminds me.
We can speculate all day long.
Outer Limits. Like, you ever see that show?
The point is, you're wasting your time if you think.
I mean, I think they're going to hint at it, and I think they might give you some.
Maybe they'll give you enough to extrapolate an educated guess
to do what we're doing
end.
right now. But I don't think they're going to definitively answer the question. I do kind of agree with him. Like, I think they've been saying it from the beginning. You're not going to get an answer to what happened.
What if the creator of the guilty remnants is the same person that's talking to Garvey's dad and Dean and shit? Well, like, what if that's a connection? Would that make sense? And then Garvey's killing all these guilty remnants people, like he's sort of metaphorical.
Like he has not killed anybody.
No. He hasn't killed any guilty remnants.
None.
Unless he is without
what I mean.
Us knowing about
alter
it.
ego
without
is.
him knowing about it.
Yeah.
But don't you think they would have mentioned missing guilty remnants?
Not if he's driving 6 counties over or something like that. I mean, think about it. He's blacking out, dude.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is like they would have made it a point to mention these murders or these missing people.
They haven't mentioned anything outside of this little town that we're in, anyways.
But what I'm saying is, if he was murdering guilty remnants, like they would have hinted at that. Like if he was he hasn't killed anybody. Like Patty murdered Gladys.
Fair enough, but isn't there a chance that, like, is there any possibility that Dean and Garvey are fight clubbing it?
No.
Like, Dean's an actual
fight club scenario.
Yeah, this doesn't work.
Yeah, Dean's an actual person.
He exists. It just doesn't work. It doesn't exist. Yeah. She grabbed the beer from him. He was in the city hall meeting. It's just too strange.
No, I was
people would have called him on
it
at this point. If he would have, like Joel pointed out during that city hall meeting, if he would have said and answered his own fucking question, everybody would have been like,
"Yeah, what?
Who
the
the
hell
fuck
is
are you
happening
talking
right
to,
now,
man?" Like people in that room would have acknowledged that.
Well,
there's no way
especially considering he was
exist.
being contradictory to his own original point.
Right. There's no way that they would have not noticed that.
Yeah, something weird would have been said there.
He had the beer. His daughter grabbed the beer from him. He's real. He exists. Patty had more than one conversation with him during that whole interchange. I was paying attention to that to make sure it wasn't like vague or weird to where.
Didn't you kind of get the feeling that the two of them kind of knew each other?
Who?
Patty and Dean.
Patty
like even
Dean,
though she said
no.
she said like there was something weird about the way they were talking.
Well, she was talking.
Too.
She was saying that she'd been doing research and been looking up everybody in this town, and she says the only person I can't come up with anything on is you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she says she'll. What is it? Let's see. She says, she will say she was abducted and identifies her attackers. That was the moment that I knew he is real, because there were more than one. There's more than one attacker, aka Kevin and Dean.
Dog killing Dean.
Yeah. It's hard to do it with just kind of jumping around without walking through what had happened, but there's no point in trying to do that now. I mean, I could go through a couple of the storylines.
Well, no, because it was us jumping to...
We didn't hit the Meg stuff, where, I mean, you mentioned Matt provoking them, but we didn't get into any specifics.
What was happening right there, but she was screaming and...
So her story in this episode was that Matt has a poster, or has a flyer with Megan on it, but it's not her, or no, it's her mom, or was he saying "Come home, Megan," and that's why Megan was on the poster? It was because he wanted her to leave the guilty remnants, because she didn't need to continue to feel bad, even though her pain had been hijacked.
I think maybe it's posters, like with him, like having interviews, or she said he's talking to my mother and all her friends.
Yeah,
maybe it's like what they said.
But the mother is gone. Her mother died
the day before.
The day before. That's what I was getting to. That she. Yeah,
her
mom died and her guilt was hijacked because everybody else had this...
Her remorse or her...
No, they had worse than that.
Did he say her remorse was hijacked?
Her
grief.
Yeah, grief was hijacked. That's what he said.
That's absolutely right if you think about it. Not even just in the everybody felt the same way the next day kind of sense, because everybody the next day felt something that was potentially more profound.
Right.
And it was like, so I can't really feel bad about my mom just dying. Mm-hmm. You guys have this worse thing. So, she couldn't really have anybody go, I feel for you. That sucks so much that your mom died. 2% of the world just left. So, she got fucking screwed emotionally in that regard. And so that all leads to this. So, I mean, that's the same thing with Jill. Jill's intentionally pushing people away now.
It just shows that her resolve as far as this whole thing isn't...
Oh, you don't think she's going to stick to it?
Well, she apparently didn't. She was the first, none of these other people besides Patty in that one moment with Lori spoke, or no matter what's happened.
Patty's speaking now.
Okay, during this episode, fair enough. During this episode,
wasn't there another episode where she was doing that too, just kind of casually talking, or was it just that one?
Just the one.
It was just the one episode.
Okay.
Well, she spoke to Meg the first time.
That's
she
right.
said, "Welcome to blah 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 blah."
That's what I was thinking of.
I won't ever speak to you again, right?
We won't speak again after this.
Yeah. Okay.
So she took Lori, and then she spoke with her, and then she's speaking during the whole
this kidnapping
thing,
or whatever,
right? The kidnapping. What were we getting at with this whole deal? What were we talking about?
Meg, I didn't know if she was really going to stick with it long term.
Right, well, because she's just casually just breaking the rules. Like, nobody else has done that. She just...
Which I do want to applaud her for, because it really bugs me that everybody just goes along with the norm in any part of society.
And I agree with Lori, though, that she's weak.
That's not what they're there for, though, man. If you're going to go with
the guilty remnant, then you own it.
No, that's their definition of weak, is that if you're not following exactly what they want you to do.
And the whole episode, Meg is just running her fucking mouth.
Yeah.
And you could see the irritation on Lori's face with her. Okay, just because, you lost it doesn't give you the right now. Like, you took up this oath or whatever it might be. Shut the fuck up.
I know, when she bitch slapped her.
Well, that was later on in the episode, too.
Yeah, but that's what it all built up to,
when she was talking to her, even a couple days later after she had been sitting in that office, or a day or so later, she'd been sitting in Patty's office, she was still talking.
Yeah.
And it was like she gave her the chance to sit down and collect herself and realize where she was and what she was doing.
So that's when she was sitting and watching TV in Patty's office, and Meg was defending her actions to Lori, who writes, "No violence," and Meg asks, "Why not?" And Lori says, "It's weak." And then Meg writes, "I'm not weak." And Lori, "Prove it." And I just wrote, God, this is a lame cliche story. The fucking, you could prove you're not weak by doing the thing you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know, like she's questioning it, like why? And then it's, well, you just have to have faith. That's literally the same thing as religion to me. What they're making her do, they're making her
obviously
just on faith.
Obviously, it's religion, guy.
But it's not. Their whole point is that it's not.
The religion is a practice of a belief, and that's what they're doing. Their silence and their smoking is their practicing of their belief. It's their religion.
I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's how I view it. They might not view it like that themselves, but...
Yeah, because they're saying it's just to remember the event.
That's why he kind of looks at her like...
Well, we didn't even find out until this episode exactly what their goal was.
Well, we got a good explanation of what the guilty remnant is from Patty. This
what did she say? She, he asks, Garvey's talking to Patty and she says he's fucked, and she muses on whether she now feels a debt to him after he saved her life, and no was the answer. And then he needs to know what to fucking do, and he asks what she wants. She wants him to understand, and again he's like, what? And she asks if he thinks about the 14th, the clusterfuck of the modern era. He doesn't. She thinks about it all the time, every waking second. What else is there to think about? It doesn't matter what happened, she says. She accepts that it did, and that's what's different between them. That she accepts that it did actually happen. Yeah, he ignores it. They strip away the colorful diversions that keep them from remembering all the time, until they are a blank slate. They are living reminders of what the others try so desperately to forget. They are ready and waiting because it's not going to be long now.
Sounds like a fucking religion to me.
But they're going to kill themselves. They're going to be
it's still a
killed.
Religion.
I don't know that that's a religion. I mean, it's definitely a set of... I don't know. It's almost like they're saying...
Well, see, that
I thought it was up until this point.
I think that's your separation.
He can't take God out of the context.
What are you talking about? No,
because
I'm saying
their religion has nothing to do with God or anything like that. They're practicing their belief. It's their religion.
I'm saying that's where they separate a religion from a cult.
No, religion is just practicing a belief. Like if you looked up the definition.
But what she's saying right now is that all they're trying to do is remember that day happened. I don't feel like that's a big enough leap to say that that's their religion. All she's saying is that we just want to acknowledge that it happened and move forward, so to speak, or just be that.
Yeah, but it's a bigger leap than just that.
Yeah, I know, man. I mean, it is their religion.
It's not just acknowledging what happened. It's taking this whole lifestyle and only wearing white and smoking cigarettes and not speaking and living and moving out of the house you live in with your family and moving in with these people,
giving up on everything,
and giving up everything. Man. Like it is.
That's a sacrifice.
And that's kind of what I was saying about the Lori thing, having to just start writing again and go, oh, I'm not weak. It's like she's just fucking...
You mean Megan?
Yeah, Megan, sorry. She's just reverse psychologing her into doing it.
Right.
That's all. I don't think she wants to do it. I think Meg is definitely going to leave at some point. I don't think she's going to...
She doesn't understand it. She doesn't get it.
I just like that she's questioning it.
Well, yeah.
Because that's what I would be doing if I had any part of it.
But, I mean, if you were questioning it, then why would you be there? But see,
because you don't know because they won't. It's not like they tell you outright. This is why you're here, and this is what you're going to gain from being here. I didn't get that vibe from Patty talking to her that they had any idea like what the point of the guilty remnants was, other than to remember. Did they tell like a mission? This is the first we've heard any detail about any mission at all.
Give a mission statement at all. But I would imagine here very soon the quote-unquote creator of the Guilty Remnants is going to come up.
So you think that's a character then? Because we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, it's a thing, man.
There's got to be something.
I'm sorry, you can't. There has to be some. If it's just a fucking white book with the instructions in it, there's something there that gives them the overall instructions on how to pull this whole thing off.
But again, the only contradiction comes in there with Lori. If Lori doesn't know and now she's in charge, that doesn't make any sense.
But you'll figure it out when she starts.
What I'm saying is
Patty
has this.
But Patty's dead now and never got to pass it on to the next person that took over her spot.
Wouldn't it
stand to reason that you would need to pass on some information?
No, not if that's how Patty learned how to do the job.
But she went through that whole rigmarole with the taking her out to dinner.
Just like the person that did it before her?
No, she did it for Gladys, and Gladys never became the leader.
Then Patty's the only one that has...
Or was Gladys the leader, and then Patty...
No, Gladys was just a smoker.
No, but Gladys
was a watcher,
the sacrifice.
I'm telling you, she didn't know. I'm telling you, listen, what I'm saying is it's like...
Because she said Patty, she didn't talk
maybe
either.
The people that were with Patty, that did the stoning or whatever... Like, these are from a higher-up group. The creators.
So there's a hierarchy in this.
Yeah.
And Patty's the only one in this group that we see
Sect
with Lori
of it, yeah,
that knows anything about any of that.
And she took Gladys to lunch
and she
gave
took Gladys
the opportunity to talk, and she didn't talk.
But so she said she did that a year ago.
Yes, yeah. and she got.
That's
and
what
she
she
got
said.
off.
Lori's next,
and Lori's next.
That's what she said. But Lori's not going to be next now because Patty's dead.
But Patty didn't get. Patty offed herself. The goal was to be offed. So it's almost like Gladys was a step above Patty prior to that. You know what I mean? It would seem like, okay, Gladys went first, then Patty, Lori's next.
I'm saying that the way that she got snatched up and while she was begging and pissing herself, she pissed herself. She didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, and think about the way that Gladys
and I'm saying if she was going to do that willingly and give herself and sacrifice herself, they wouldn't have hid.
So then, there has to be then some other party involved because otherwise there's no way it works.
There has to be a hierarchy.
If Lori was never told that she had to sacrifice herself, let alone other people, then that tradition would just die off. So there has to be for this to work.
Yeah.
So somebody's going to come to Lori and approach her then.
And in order for
and
that
say,
to
now
be
that you're in charge, here's what you have to do.
Yep.
And it's going to, you know who the sacrifice is going to be?
Her daughter.
Wait, didn't somebody ask outright?
Meg.
Ooh.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
She's going to be the next one.
It was Garvey that asked, "Who do you report to?" Wasn't it?
Yeah. When he was tortured, yeah, and she didn't even.
She laughed at him. She's like, "Is that what you've come? You tied me up for this?
Yeah,
to ask me about my organization."
Yeah. She even used the word. Did she use hierarchy, or is that a word we've been using?
I think we've been using it.
Okay. Because I thought she didn't say anything about it. She just kind of like laughed and, like you said, like played it off, and then he asked her something else. Yeah. Like she didn't even acknowledge. Like,
I like how Garvey just said he knows why they don't talk now because she was being such a little asshole. And then he said it's an impressive line of bullshit. And Lori didn't join to become a living reminder. She joined because he failed her. And she says, because of your dirty dick. And he said, or she said that Patty could offer Lori purpose. Garvey couldn't. They want purpose, not answers, not love, just something to live for, something to die for. And, at that moment it was like, there's no way she's leaving this place at all. And he asked if Gladys had a purpose. And she says that was the point. She died by 100 stones, and now she can't be forgotten. They murdered her. Oh, I put they murdered her because that was when we found out.
Yeah, that was right at the reveal. He said, "Did you murder her?"
And she goes, "She was okay with it." So if she was okay with it, then she had to know. I think that she was being honest here. I think that Gladys knew it was her time. But I think that in the moment when it was happening and when the pain was real, that she said, "Please stop."
And then Patty chucked that last
and
rock.
then they just ended it. Because it felt like I don't know. At the time, you're thinking it's somebody fucking with the guilty remnants. And
I mean, dude, there would have been nothing left of that lady after 100 rocks like that.
I mean, yeah, maybe they... Do you think they actually... No, there's no way. They stopped after that.
They had to. Because there would have been, like I said, come on, if they're throwing 100 rocks at her head, there would have been nothing left.
Okay, and then this next line, when Lori's time comes, she will be okay with it too. So Lori doesn't know yet.
Right.
Huh.
Okay.
And, she wants Garvey to kill her, and she wants him to finish what he started. She wants him to follow through, is what it seems like. She just wants him to fucking do something all the way to completion.
Right.
She wants him to understand. And again, what? What's happening to everyone? And then she goes into her stupid fucking poem, and then she tells him, "You don't have to hide from me." And he looks over at a toolbox, he gets up and opens it, and Patty cries. Just a tear falls down her face, and Garvey pulls out a knife. And I just put, he's going to free her.
He's not going to kill her, right?
Yeah. He says, "You're going home. You're not going to tell anyone what I did because I'll fucking tell them. I don't care if I lose my job. I don't care if I lose my daughter. I'm not going to lose my mind."
Over listening to your bullshit.
Yeah, listening to her bullshit. And no, Patty, I don't understand you. And he cuts her free, and she grabs a piece of glass and stabs it in her neck. And then dumbass touched the fucking blade. I mean, come on.
He touched
I know that he's in a cabin by himself, and more than likely he's going to bury the body. However, when somebody if somebody stabs themselves, you don't go up and put your hands on the fucking weapon. You don't touch the murder weapon. You're not going to save her. She just stabbed her fucking neck and went, she's done. Like, at that point, just stand back. And you don't pull the obstruction out. That's always going to cause him to bleed more.
Yeah.
Just so many things wrong with that. He's supposed to be a cop. Maybe he was never a cop before this and got thrust into the position. So
I
he's
think
like,
that's
what
kind
the
of part
fuck
of the
did you
reason why
do?
he garners such little respect.
Well, she says again, you understand me. He doesn't. You can say that, bitch, on your dying breath. He doesn't understand. And he just looked mortified as she bled out. Like,
Right.
I don't know.
Because now what the fuck is he going to do, right?
To me, the revelations for this episode were as follows. Lori knew about Kevin's affair. Didn't know that. We didn't know if she knew before.
Okay.
Nora isn't fully healed after her Wayne hug. Although I don't... that's just what they're saying with the gun thing. Which I still think is fucking stupid. It doesn't make any sense. You can't just say because somebody still owns a firearm that they're still broken.
I mean, it
and
was
not
just
fully
an
healed.
example because it was the strongest example to them because of how many people she lost, and the closest thing to them were her was like them looking at her as the person in their immediate surroundings that lost the most.
Yeah, so they're supposed
And
to
if she's
judge,
lying
yeah.
about being okay, then everybody's fucked. Then if she's the worst off. And she's lying about being okay, then how can anybody that's any less worse off than she is?
Did she say she was okay? What did she say at the dinner? They haven't named the dog. Nora had one named Bubba. This dinner is awkward. Let's see. She used to have one, but she doesn't need it to feel better anymore. Jill asked why she carries a gun, and she says she used to have one, but doesn't need it to feel better anymore. And then Jill wants to know how she got better. So she's better just because she doesn't have the gun?
Well, she's better.
All she's saying is she doesn't need it to feel
better
better.
because
the
of
first time
horny
that his
Wayne.
daughters listened to him, I noted that mentally.
What?
It was the first time his daughter flat out obeyed him.
Why? What did he say?
He
To
made her
apologize. Yeah.
And she looked and she did. She said, "I'm sorry."
But
seemed genuine.
I feel like they're taking that to such a ridiculous level that she's not better just because she put the gun away somewhere. Like she said, she doesn't need it to feel better. So does that mean she has to get rid of it? Does that mean she's lying by saying what she said?
No. Because you know what, she did put it in a pretty obscure place. In the
did that have some tie to her kids? I mean, besides the fact that it was in a trouble box, and I mean, obviously guns are trouble.
I think it was just a hiding spot, just some.
So no significance to it being in that room of all the rooms.
I suppose we can't write it off as no significance.
I don't know. I felt like that was such a leap for a teenage girl to make, that she still has the gun hidden in her kid's bedroom under the bed.
She almost stumbled upon it, though, man. Like,
And
I don't
she
think
was looking for it. What do you mean?
Yeah, but she kind of stumbled upon the kid's room and was looking around and found trouble. Maybe she used to play trouble when she was a little kid and she opened it and the gun just happened to be in there, and that's why she started bawling. Was because it reminded her of her mom, so she went to go see her mom.
Okay, well, that's a more reasonable take.
Yeah.
I mean, I just felt like they were hammering home that shit.
She's not even going to join the Guilty Remnants, I don't think.
I think she'll get sick of it. I think she'll get sick of their shit real quick and probably not stick with it. I mean, it seems like it could be an interesting twist if she
she'll
went
see
with
her
them.
mom get sacrificed.
Yeah. Yeah. Other just random thoughts. To me, the dog was getting better. The dog was willing to be transformed. Patty wasn't. Let's see. Is he going to hide all the bodies with all his old shirts? There was a lot of shirts. He could just bury.
I'm telling you, it's the burial ground, man. That's how he marks the guilty remnants he's been killing from other counties.
Is anyone else sick of answering machines being used as plot devices? It's just a way to have somebody say something out loud. Nobody uses answering machines anymore. When was the last time you saw an answering machine?
It's been a while.
Voicemail. You don't check it when you get home. Why wouldn't he have called her cell phone?
This lady hasn't changed anything since.
You know what I mean? Like
left.
I feel like some of the stuff like that is a bit. That's where I have a hard time suspending my disbelief.
Well, yeah, because nobody uses the fucking landline
Why wouldn't you just call Garvey on
anymore.
a cell phone?
Right.
Why wouldn't Garvey call Nora on her cell phone?
Right.
I don't know. Any other thoughts on this episode?
It got me to come back, man. A couple episodes ago, I was a little bit lost. Last episode was pretty good. This one's really good, man.
Yeah, I
It's
like this
starting
episode. It was a good episode.
I can't wait to see where it's going, man.
Well, we only got 2 episodes left, so
yeah. I can't wait to end this so we can check the tape so you can see the glance when he was talking to.
I'm happy to see.
You want to go back and look at that,
which you specified before I called you on it many times. You specified he looked up and to the left, which is a signal of telling the truth.
Okay,
I just want to point that out because your whole thing was hitching on he was lying. What? Or that he was talking to somebody else.
He was talking to the same people that Garvey's dad talks to, is what I'm saying. So what you're telling me is that
so he wasn't trying to deceive anybody.
No, not at all.
I thought he was definitely talking to Patty, in my estimation.
No, he was talking to the voices. Yeah, and I mean, just because he looks up and to the right in the scene that I'm talking about doesn't mean that I'm inaccurate. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, it seemed like a very specific thing to get wrong.
Because I'm trying to remember it, man. It was a while ago.
Guess we'll find out next week. Yep. Did he look up and to the left? Next time on
This is how to watch TV.
That didn't work in the right tense at all.
No, it didn't.
It was close though, man. You can try next time. How to watch TV.
I'm not ending with that. No.
For Comeuppance Network, this is How to Watch TV.
Thanks, everybody.
Network.
Thanks. See you later.
This is how to watch TV.
For the record, we went back and watched it, and he decidedly looked back and to the left.
All these memories in my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.